Thanks for joining us for this quick talk about 21st of December that's ahead of us. If I look on your Facebook profile or your Facebook page, you are the Science Engagement Astronomer at the South African Astronomical Observatory.
Yeah, so basically I'm an astronomer based at the observatory here in Cape Town. Our telescopes are up in Sutherland. We run all the optical and infrared telescopes for the country. And my role as the Science Engagement Astronomer is to communicate our science with the public and with learners, educators, and sort of communicate with the media and try and communicate astronomy in general, but also the science we do.
Yeah, let's start with who is Daniel? Tell me more about yourself. How did you get into the business of studying the universe?
Yeah, so I've always been interested in astronomy since a very young age. I got a telescope, I think, when I was about 10, just a very simple one. And then very, very interested in the Amateur Astronomical Society. Used to go to their regular meetings. My dad used to take me along. And then I, after school, got into, did a BSc, and then got into astronomy from there, and completed my PhD in 2013. Did a couple of postdocs doing some research, my second one being at the observatory, and then I moved into a more engagement role and sort of managerial responsibilities at the observatory.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome, studying stars and having that passion like at a young age. Yeah, and I also saw on your Facebook you guys are running a documentary that you were part of planning or produced yourself, the Rising Star. Do you have any more info about that? Where can we watch that? How can the viewers see that documentary, and what is it about?
Yeah, so we created, myself and a colleague produced the film. It's the first sort of full planetarium film on South African astronomy, full length, sort of on this scale. And it basically gives us an overview of astronomy in South Africa, some of the incredible achievements we've made, the incredible facilities we have here, such as SAAO, the Southern African Large Telescope, and Meerkat Radio Telescope near Carnarvon. And then also just a basic overview of astronomy and the research we do and what that sort of means to the general public. So it's meant to be quite engaging, and I think it is. It is a planetarium film, so it's designed to be sort of experienced on the full dome. It's currently showing at the Zico Planetarium and Digital Dome here in Cape Town, and then it will also be showing at the Naval Hill Planetarium in Bloemfontein, and at the Sutherland Planetarium in Sutherland. So we'll also be sharing it, free of charge around the world to the network of over 4,000 planetaria around the world. Oh. So the aim is to try and sort of let the public know what's going on in astronomy in South Africa, because it's a very exciting field to be in at the moment. And then obviously let the rest of the world know too.
And then to the question of the day, what is the fuss about 21st of December, the Great Conjunction? As I see the headlines of numerous international newspapers and people talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think these things are great just to sort of bring some awareness to the night sky. People don't look up often enough. So when there's a big full moon or an eclipse or something like a conjunction, I think it's great that the media pick it up and generate some interest in astronomy. So in this case, what's essentially happening is every 20 years or so, Jupiter and Saturn move quite close to each other, as seen from Earth. Often this happens close to the Sun, so it's not easy for us to see. In this case, they'll be moving fairly close to each other in the sky, the closest they've been in about 400 years, and the most easily visible close conjunction in about 800 years. So it's a relatively rare event that it's possible to view it this clearly. And what you'll see, and if you go out tonight or any night in the coming week, or even beyond the 21st, you'll see these two bright objects, Jupiter and Saturn, in the night sky just after sunset, and they appear fairly close together already. But over the next week, they'll be getting closer and closer together until they are about the distance of a fifth of the diameter of the moon. So a fairly small distance in the sky. You'll be able to discern that there are two objects still. It won't look like one object. But it's quite rare to see these two gas giants so close together in the sky.
And that's awesome. And how far will each of those planets be from Earth? Obviously, they if you look from a different perspective in the universe, they're still very far apart from each other. But from the Earth's perspective, it looks like they're colliding almost.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, they're in very, very different orbits around the sun, very far away from each other, and they sort of maintain that orbit. We're on the opposite side of the sun right now, so looking past the sun at them on the other side of the sun. So it's not that they're particularly close to us, but they are very bright objects anyway, and the fact that they're close together gives you an opportunity to see both of them at once. I mean, if you have binoculars or access to a small telescope, you'll be able to see both objects in the same field of view at the same time,
Okay.
which is quite special.
Yes. What are you guys planning on documenting on this day? Do you, with your telescopes, I guess you take high resolution photos of this because, like you said, the first time in 400 years that it would be this clear to see?
Yeah, I think in terms of astronomy research, it's not necessarily that exciting. It's an exciting spectacle, as I said at the beginning, for the public to sort of engage with the night sky and learn about these objects, because Jupiter and Saturn are up most of the time, but people seldom go and have a look at these big planets. So it's a great opportunity for the public to try and engage with astronomy. So we definitely use that and try and engage with the public where possible, and have some outreach events around it. But from a research point of view, there's sort of nothing particular that will be done on this occasion. If you're interested in astronomy, there's meteor showers and things regularly coming along that you can engage with astronomy.
Yes.
And we try and promote those on the observatory social media, so you can follow us there.
Okay, so if people are interested in this, they can follow the observatory's Facebook page. And how do they follow you?
Yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook. Twitter, my handle is Daniel Cunnama. And on Facebook, I'm also just Dr. Daniel Cunnama. I have a professional page there, so you're welcome to follow me, and I'll share anything exciting that's coming up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Cunnama, for taking this time to talk to me and also the community of Ermelo.